Hello, welcome to class today. Yes, today I want us to discuss algebra. Algebra is a branch of mathematics that deals with the combination of letters and numbers. That's algebra. A branch of mathematics that deals with the combination of letters and numbers. So in treating algebra, there are some basic terms that we make use of, and we call them the algebraic terms. These algebraic terms are as follows. Basically, we have the first one is the constant. Next is the variable. Next is the coefficient. And then the last is the number of terms, which we won't cover in today's class. I actually want us to cover these first three, which are the most popular: the constant, the variable, and the coefficient. Now I want to start with the constant. Look at the definition that we have here. The constant is that number in an algebraic expression that does not change its value. Okay, it has no variable attached to it. I love this definition. If you are given an algebraic expression like this one here, 5x plus 2, 5x plus 2, okay, this is plus 7, so the same. You need to look at these two terms here. I can see 5x, I can see 7. So between these two expressions here, 5x and then plus 7, which one is the number that is standing alone? Which of them is a number that is standing alone? If you look at it very well, this 5x here, there's a number, but it's attached to an alphabet called x. So that 5 can never be a constant because it is standing alone. Okay, it's not standing alone, it's alongside an alphabet. Constants always stand alone with no alphabet attached to them. Yeah, they can be positive, they can be negative, but with no constants by when we check them in the expression, and we see that there's no alphabet attached to the constant, to the number. Alright, so look at the next example here, 3a minus 4. So in 3a minus 4, you can see clearly that the 3a here, 3a, the 3 there has an a attached to it. The 3 has an a attached to it, so the 3 can never be the constant because it has an a attached to it. Remember, we see the constant have no number attached. It has no number attached to it. So it is the minus 4. Remember, always write the constant alongside the sign of the constant. And the sign of the number always comes before it. For instance, this is 3a and this is minus 4. So the constant here is minus 4 because it doesn't have any alphabet attached to it. Do you get it now? Yeah. This last one here, there's a problem in the question. It's not complete, so I'm cancelling it out because it's not a complete question. Okay, sometimes you can have another expression. Let's look at another expression here. You can have an expression like this. Let's say 4x plus 5y. This is 5, sorry, 5y. Let's say plus 6z. Maybe plus 8. What do you think is a constant in this question here? You can pause the video and try answering on your own. Okay, but I can see that if you look at it, 4x, 4 is a number here but it's attached to x, so it can't be a constant. 5 is a number but it's attached to y, so it can't be a constant. 6 is attached to z here, so it can't be a constant. But look at this 8 here. 8 is alone, so 8 is definitely the constant. So anytime they give you an expression or algebraic expression, just check for that number that is standing alone with no alphabet attached to it, and that's your constant. So the next thing we are going to talk about now is a variable. Variable. Now that you have known constant, let's go to the second term in algebraic expression called variable. A variable is a letter or symbol used to represent an unknown number. Okay, a variable is gotten from the word vary. To vary means to change. So a variable is a letter whose value can change. Remember, when you want to use a letter to represent anything, it means the letter can be 1, like x can be 1, x can be 2, y can be 20, y can be 100, y doesn't have any specific value. You can choose any number to stand for y, and that's it. So variables are letters that are letters, in fact. Okay, anytime you look at an expression, just check for the letters in that expression. The alphabets there is the same, and that is your variable. For instance, look at this example that we have here. And this is the expression. Please, this is an expression 5x plus 7. What is the alphabet in this expression? Is 5 an alphabet? No. Is 7 an alphabet? Never. The alphabet here is x. So the variable is x. So in 5x plus 7, in 5x plus 7, the variable is 5. Sorry, the variable is x. In 5x, this is 5x plus 7. The variable is x, okay? X is the variable because it's the alphabet in the equation. X is the variable. This is the variable. So that's how we find variables. All the alphabet. Anytime you see an expression, just check for the alphabet there. Check for the letter there, and that letter is your variable. Very easy, very interesting. Algebra is a very, very interesting topic or branch of mathematics. So let's see this next one. Was saying 3a minus 4. Remember, the variable is the alphabet. What do you think in 3a minus 4 here? This 3a minus 4. What do you think? The variable there is a, because 3a minus 4 has an alphabet, just one alphabet. The alphabet is a. So a is the variable. A is the variable. A is the variable. Look at in 2m squared. Okay, 2m squared. This is 2m squared. This is an expression, not complete, but that's an expression. Yeah, in 2m squared, m is the alphabet there, right? M is the variable. So m is the variable. That's it for variable. I can see add another expression here. You can have something like maybe the expressions can be big, then the expression may be big. Okay, it mustn't always be small. It can even have more than one variable. Let's say, for instance, we have 3x plus 5y minus 2z. Okay, 2z. you can see now clearly that it's so clear that the variables are x, y, and z. The variables are x, y, and z because they do not have, they are the letters. They are the letters. I said before that any equation that's given to you, the variables are always the letters. The letters in the expression. So the variables and the letters. So the variables are x, y, and z, because they are the guys. Z. Alright, they are the variables. Okay, the last part of the video that we're going to talk about before we stop is called coefficients. It's called coefficients. So a coefficient is a number multiplied by a variable. A number multiplied by a variable. In another form, you can say a coefficient is that number that is attached to a variable. That number that is attached to a variable. Most of the time, yeah, is by multiplication. Basically, it's by multiplication. But you can just look at the expression. Once you see an expression, just look at that number that is not alone. Number that is attached to a variable. The number attached to a variable is called the coefficient. For example, in 5x here, you can see that the number attached to x is a variable. So the number attached to x is 5. So the coefficient is 5. Okay. Yes. So in this minus 3y here too, the number that's attached to y is minus 3. Please always bring them alongside their sign. Bring them alongside their sign, because that's how it's always supposed to be. Okay, so it's minus 3. That's the coefficient of y. Coefficient is always a number that is attached to a variable. Here in this example 3, we have 2 over 3z. So 2 over 3 is found attached to z. So the coefficient of z is 2 over 3. You can still have some expressions. You can still have bigger expressions like this. For instance, you can find in this expression I want to write down here now. You can have 3x minus 4y plus 7. In this expression, the coefficient, they can ask you to find the coefficient of y. If they say you find the coefficient of y, first identify y. Okay, I can see y is there. Let me change the color. I can see y is there. Okay, look at it. There are terms here. This is a term. This is another term. And this is another term. So what number is attached to y? I can see minus 4 there. So the coefficient of y is minus 4. That is the coefficient of y. What is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x. Can you guess? Pause the video and guess the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is the number that is attached to x. And that is 3. Now there's something special that we need to understand. Anytime an alphabet is just alone, the coefficient is an invisible one. This is very important. In mathematics, when an alphabet is alone, when a letter is alone, we don't write any number by the side. You are just supposed to know that the coefficient is 1. For example, let's write something here. We have let's say x plus 5. X plus 5. Look at the x there. What is the coefficient of x? The coefficient of x is an invisible one. Okay, once an alphabet is alone without any number by the side attached to it, means there's a 1 invisible, because 1 times x is still going to give you x. Let's write another example. We have let's say y minus 3. Y minus 3. What's the coefficient of y? The coefficient of y is what? There's an invisible 1 there. So the coefficient of y is 1. The coefficient of y is 1 because there's an invisible 1 there. Can you see that now? So anytime you see an expression and you see an alphabet just standing below, don't be disturbed, don't be confused. Just know that the coefficient of any alphabet or letter that's just by itself is 1. And try to know which of the coefficients they're asking you to find. It can be coefficient of x, coefficient of y. So coefficient of y here is invisible and invisible 1. Let me clean that so that to be clearer. The coefficient of y here is an invisible 1 that you can't see, but you just need to use the third eye of mathematics to get that done. That is how it is done. Alright, that is the coefficient. Okay, you can see right another one here. Look at another expression, 3s squared plus 4. So they can ask you to find the coefficient of x squared. The coefficient of what? S squared. Is that number that's attached to s squared? And what is that number that's attached to s squared? 3. This is the coefficient of x squared. Alright? So that's how it is done. So before we go, let's look at this expression in these questions now. This is question 1. Let's identify the coefficient of x. First, let's identify the constant. What is the constant in this expression? Number that is standing alone. And the number that is standing alone here is what? 4. So the coefficient of the constant here is 4. That's the constant. In this question 1, the constant is what? The constant is 4. It's very easy. Very, very nice. I hope you are following that now. The constant is 4. The next is, let's find the variable. I remember what we say the variable should be the alphabet there. So the variable is x. The variable is x. The variable is the alphabet. The variable is the alphabet, and that's x. What of the coefficient? Coefficient is that number that's attached to the variable. Oh my god, this is amazing. That number attached to the variable. What is the number? Can you guess? You can pause the video and answer it for yourself. Yeah. So the number that's attached to x here is what? 7. So that's the coefficient. Okay, that's the coefficient. That's the coefficient. Okay. The coefficient is 4. Let's go to the next question here. Question 2. What's the constant? I want you to bring it plus the sign. The constant here is minus 9. The constant is minus 9. Constant is minus 9. That's the constant there. Minus 9. Minus 9. Then what of the coefficient here? Coefficient is that number attached to variable, and that's 3. That's the coefficient. The coefficient is 3. The coefficient, I'm just writing C coefficient for short here, is 3. And what's the variable? The variable is y. The variable is y. That's how this thing is done. Alright, the variable is y. Okay, more of this number 3, any constant. Pause the video and check. Number 3, I can just see 12m. Is there any number that is standing alone? No. So the constant here is nothing, no constant. Then what of the coefficient? The coefficient is 12. What of the variable? The variable is the alphabet. So the variable is m. Can you see that now? Alright, let's see question 4 here. What is the constant? Pause the video and try it out. The constant is always that number that is alone with no alphabet attached to it. 5 is attached to A, so it's not the constant. 2 is attached to B, so it's not the constant. But -6 is alone, so this is the constant. -6 is the constant. Then what are the variables here? I told you before, you can have more than one variable. A is the variable, and B is also a variable. Can you see that? Now, because we have more than one variable, you can find the coefficient of A. Coefficient of A is that number that's attached to A. So come to A. What is that number that's attached to A? The number is 5. Let me circle it. So the coefficient of A here is 5. Remember, we can find the coefficient of B too, which is the number that's attached to B. And the number that's attached to B is 2. So coefficient of B is 2. Yes, the last example for the day. Let's look at this one. X minus 10. What is the constant here? The number that's alone. The number that is all alone. Okay, and the constant here is minus 10. Remember, bring it plus the sign. Minus 10. And what of the coefficient? Pause the video and check what the coefficient will be. Remember, X is standing alone. So I said before that anytime an alphabet is standing alone, it means that it has an invisible 1 as the coefficient. So the coefficient of X here is what? Is 1. The coefficient of X here is what? Is 1. Invisible 1. Though we don't write it because for convenience's sake, we don't write it. But the coefficient of X is what? 1. Then what is the variable itself? The alphabet is the variable. Always note that the alphabet is the variable. So that's where we stop for today. We're going to continue from here in another class. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Algebra Academy, for more videos. I want to drop a more series of videos for you so that you can get better in mathematics. Okay, so I wish you all the best and hope to see you in our next video.